Alright, so according to AAA, as of 2011, senior citizens have the highest crash death rate per mile driven, even though they drive fewer miles than younger people, such as teens, young adults. And so, as far as you guys might be asking, why is that important to you? We're all pedestrians, and for the majority of us, we're all drivers. We encounter other drivers of different age, ethnicities. So, I want to make aware that my argument is that people over 75 shouldn't have the ability to drive because of age, and with age comes declined motor skills. And so, as to preview my points, it'll be the problems that driving over the age of 75 are, the causes, and then the solutions, or possible solutions to stop drivers over 75. So, one of the problems is old people drive too slow. They seem not to have a care in the world. They just have their head forward, and they actually probably the few people who actually drive under the speed limit, and they just tend to be in their own world as far as driving. Another problem with it is they get in accidents, as in this picture. A lot of cases where you see older people or senior citizens come out as far as car accidents is at liquor stores or just grocery stores where they accidentally throw the car into reverse. Instead of pressing the brake, they press the gas, and before they can realize it, the next thing that they remember is that they're inside the store front or the side of the building. And this poses a major threat to the health of the pedestrians and the consumers who actually try and go into the stores, or just other drivers. That's another picture of a senior citizen related accident. And to go along with this, according to the Center for Disease Control, in 2008, more than 5,500 older adults were killed, and more than 183,000 were injured in motor vehicle crashes. This amounts to 15 older adults and 500 injuries per day on average. So now that I've talked about my first main point, I will now talk about the causes of older people having the ability to drive, which is the DMV still issues them licenses. I don't have a quote directly from the DMV, but off my research, I found that people over the age of 70, they don't have to retake a driving test. All they do is every 2 years just refill the application, and there's a box where they check that they still have the ability to drive, rather than having an instructor test out their motor skills, eye vision, health, just as the rest of us have to go through the process of filling out a DMV application. They just resubmit the information that they had previously put. On top of that, their children allow them to drive. As a lot of us, I'm not sure if I could speak for myself, for the majority of us, our parents, out of respect and out of obedience for their parents, they choose not to voice up against them just because that's their parents. But they are kind of enabling their parents, our grandparents, senior citizens to continue to drive, when in a lot of cases they show signs that they can't drive, but out of stubbornness they just continue to drive because in their minds that they believe that they can still drive even though mechanically and physically they cannot. And so now that I've talked about my second point, which is the causes, I'll go on to my third point, which is the solutions to stopping senior citizen driving, which is the first of which is free transportation. There's a lot of programs out there, like things called like a green, like little taxi cab, where senior citizens can call in the service for free. But a lot of times people don't have the information about that, and they choose to drive or take the bus, which is another viable means of transportation for older people. But a lot of times people may say that, oh, over time the bus is too costly. So another thing is maybe a paid driver or a chauffeur, for instance, where tax dollars or their children pay for the service so that their parents can get around whenever they want, or as far as they want, for as long as they want. So now that I've talked about the solutions, I want to wrap up my my speech by concluding with going over my thesis, which is that older people over the age of 75 shouldn't drive, and my main points were for the causes that included. I mean, the problem, which include that they drive too slow and they get more prone to accidents. The cause, which is that the DMV still issues them licenses and that the children still allow them to drive, and at the solutions which were a paid driver or free transportation. And I want to close off with the speech of that. The speech with this quote: although they only account for about 9% of the population, statistics show that senior drivers account for 14% of all traffic fatalities and 17% of all pedestrian fatalities, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.